Haven't been other places in the world, travel wise, for work, vacation, whatever it may be. I don't know why anyone wants to live in a big metropolitan city. I
It's
want to
like
live way out nowhere where I'm not influenced by all that stuff. I can just
when
enjoy
you
my day.
when you came back from Croatia, unprompted, I was like, "So when you moving there?"
Right.
And you were like, "If it wasn't for y'all kids, I would."
If it wasn't for y'all, we'd be gone. For a variety of reasons, right? There's not number one, the food, and there's like, what's his name, Kennedy, Robert Kennedy would just be in hog heaven because all the things he hates they don't have there, right? People are polite. I mean, I'm sure there's dicks, but it's just a different style. Right. It's just a different style of living. And so when I come back to the US, don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on the US. I certainly am not. I mean, this is where I live. I'm grateful for the freedoms that I have. Much respect for those people who put those things in place. I do not think that the way we live today is the way we were intended to live when, nearly 300 years ago, those group of people went, "Hey, England," because we're right back where you pulled off from.
Well, because, and I'm taking it down a history route now, because
Shocker.
the United States became the world's only superpower and basically got to dictate the world order.
But why? It's
after
none of
World
our
War II.
business.
But, okay, so after World War II, we could have kept the war going against the communists because it was just America left and it was just the Soviet Union left. Yeah, Britain and France were all there, but they were decimated in their economy and their military after that. America was, for the most part, in an economic boom and could have kept going against the Soviets, but decided now is not the time. Let's invest all this money into rebuilding Europe and basically setting up puppet governments around the world to do our bidding for us.
Puppet governments.
They did. I mean, look at what the CIA did all throughout the Cold War.
I'm on board with everything you're saying, but my question is this: who the hell died and made us ruler of the world?
Germany.
Mind your own business. I mean, I look at it like this. I live in a neighborhood, right? We don't have an HOA or anything like that, but you have common decency with your neighbors. 11 o'clock at night, don't be blasting the music out across the water while your kids are in the pool screaming and yelling on a Wednesday night. Yeah. Don't paint your house bright pink. Conform to the neighborhood. There's just certain things you just do.
Common sense.
Common sense. You're getting along. But we don't have an HOA and all that stuff. I cannot go next door and knock on my neighbor's door and go, "Hey, those electric blue rocks that you put down in your front yard after you removed all the grass that you think look like a river look stupid. Pick them up." I can't do that. I can't do that. You can't just go around telling everybody else. Yeah.
But whether you feel that way or not is what happened.
I know.
So, unfortunately, because all these very nice people back in after World War II were like, "Oh, we're gonna fix everything."
Yeah. Well, I can 100% say this. If you've never traveled abroad, nothing wrong with that, okay? But if you've never traveled abroad, you certainly do not have a ripe understanding of why the rest of the world thinks we're a bunch of assholes. Period. Done.
Alrighty.
See, Booty agrees.
Interesting.
Not that has anything to do with Sydney Sweeney's genes other than Hayden brought up Germany.
Right.
And she's got nice tits.
Oh, God.
That's a type of bird. Anyway, so
That's a tit mice. Tit mice is the bird.
so
I was talking about her breasts.
I had a second thing to talk
Tickles.
about, but we
Okay.
are
Fuck it, keep going.
Go ahead.
on time. Okay.
Go ahead, because now that we know we can do longer sessions, but can we put a pin in it for just a second? My food is here now. Oh, please. And don't talk about me, bitches.
It's lunchtime.
All right. So the next thing I wanted to get into is
Wait. Before we do that, I want to give like this little plug. Can you see this?
Talkative.
Okay, so this is a brand new board game I just got. So I've been in talks with this guy who developed this game, and he's looking for some help to move his game forward. It's available on Amazon. It's called Talkative. Okay.
You just doxed yourself.
Yes. it seems highly intriguing to me. I've had a lot of conversation with this guy, and I can't wait till we're all together again to give it a try.
Nice.
What is
Just
it?
wanted to share that. So it's a game about, this game is designed to make you talk to each other instead of being on your phones, right?
Wow.
And so you get 2 minutes to talk about a subject. Either you know something about it or you don't.
That's
And you
basically
gotta
what we're
bullshit if
doing
you
on this
don't.
podcast.
Right. And you earn points. There's certain ways you earn points. I will admit I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but there's certain ways that you earn points, and then whoever has the most points at the end wins. But for our family, this would be awesome.
Oh,
Is,
well,
is that
if
something we can do on your episode?
I'll get into it and we'll see.
Okay.
If it's a good game, let me know, because I have somebody with a lot of reach on the internet.
Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was this. Do you guys know about this?
Mm-hmm.
So this was at the WNBA All-Star Game. They all came out with these "Pay Us What You Owe Us" shirts, which there's an argument that can be made. Okay, simultaneously, the other side of the argument is you don't make nearly what the NBA makes. Okay, the numbers have increased since Caitlin Clark joined the league. But everybody was like up in arms because they thought, oh, you guys only are doing this because of Caitlin Clark, and that's BS. Like, we all have talent too. Meanwhile, of the 24 WNBA games that were televised, 21 of them included Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever. So like, there's no dispute.
Please don't show Caitlin Clark's beaver on TV.
Fever? So it's silly because I don't know if you guys know, but Caitlin Clark has been taking a beating since she joined the WNBA. And I mean that in a literal sense. Like,
Right.
people are slamming into her, poking her
They bully
eyeballs,
the shit out of her.
elbowing her in the face, and like hardly any of this gets called. And it's just wild to me. So I actually did a little bit of digging, and according to the internet, the
Because
average
everything there is real.
the average income for a WNBA star is $100,000. So like third round draft picks or whatever make basically what I do, which is kind of silly. And then the like top tier veterans make about $250,000. I think
But wait a
there's a $1.5 million salary cap per team. So you have way less resources to work with. But they came out onto the court with these t-shirts because they want to make more money. And it's like, okay, where's that money going to come from? Because the WNBA is supplemented by the NBA because they lose millions every single year.
I think Mom has something to say.
I can
my
tell,
God,
but she
I
has
have
to wait until I'm done
So
talking.
much to say on this subject,
Go
and I'm really
ahead.
proud I didn't interrupt you.
I am
Couple
also
of-
proud of that.
Couple of things. First of all, a basketball player, just because they're a talented sports person, does not necessarily need to make more money than you do. No. Get paid what you're worth, right? So for what you do, Jason, you should be compensated at the level that you're compensated. Secondly, women, and I by no means am a feminist. This is a proven fact. Women are historically and tragically on a pay differential from men by anywhere from 20 to 30% for same job performs. Women are underpaid by 20 to 30% from their male counterparts, which is BS. And
Males don't get
secondly,
maternity leave.
yes, they do.
Not maternity leave.
It's called paternity leave because you're a dude, and it's under the FLMA or
On
whatever.
average, women are out for like what, 10 to 12 weeks or something like that. Men
They
get
got a kid
1.
hanging on their titty, and
I
their twat
understand.
is
Hey,
healing
I
up.
understand. I'm just saying, you can't say Like, it has to be equal pay, but then the benefits get to stay different also. Like, if we're going to be equal, let's be equal. You understand?
No. That's not true. You can get paid the same amount of money for doing the same job, but when it comes to the circumstances that involve your physical makeup and how your body performs in the bringing forth of that life, there is a discernible difference.
I don't disagree with that.
And it must be treated differently.
I understand.
When you have the same education, you're doing the same job, and you have the same responsibilities, you should be paid the same. But that's not really what
This is why there shouldn't be two incomes necessary.
But for the NBA to say that they cannot supplement the WNBA any more than they already do is BS, because those players make hundreds of millions of dollars. For what? Playing basketball? Don't get me wrong. You should be compensated for your talent. You can be injured in a way that renders you not able to work for the rest of your life. But let me tell you what, you can be sitting in traffic driving home from your job at the local, wherever it is you work, Jason, and get hit by a car and not be able to work anymore. No.
No, I agree with you on this principle, right? And honestly, I feel like these types of pay scales should really belong to things like civil servants, like politicians or police officers or paramedics or nurses or doctors or whatever.
But even at that, there should be a cap.
Right, but what I'm saying is the thing that society finds so important and will spend all this money on is something as silly as playing a game. Okay? Sure, entertainment is great, okay? But at the same time, is it worth millions and millions and millions and millions and millions, okay? I just don't understand where the priorities are. You would want your, like, top tier, best level people in something like a political setting who they can actually take the job seriously and represent you. Michael Knowles actually had a hot take the other day. He goes, look, the reason that, like, there's all this insider trading nonsense going on, there's a bill before Congress at the moment, initially called the Pelosi Act, because how can you make about $100,000 and then still be worth like $214 million? It's crazy.
Because she steals banana pudding.
So his hot take was, you need to pay your politicians more. Because when you started out, okay, a lot of people were wealthy landowners and could subsidize their own, transport back and forth to DC or whatever. Now it's like you have to maintain 2 residences, you have to do this thing, you have to do that thing. A lot of that is taxpayer supplemented, but I don't know if $100,000 is what I want to be paying my politicians if I want them to give a damn about me, right?
Right.
I just don't think there's a lot of incentive there. And so when you pay a basketball player $100 million, or a football player $100 million, baseball player $100 million, who cares? Like, great. I want the best and the brightest to be playing, okay, because I want a good game or whatever. That's fine. But at the same time, why is that same standard not applied to the things that actually matter? Why do we not have the most apt and physically fit firefighters going into places? Why do we have in LA, I don't know if you guys remember this from a while back,
There were the fires and the women and all.
Well, and they were just like, well, if your husband's trapped in a fire, then he's not in the right place. Okay, but that's literally your job, is to do the thing. I don't need you making excuses of why you don't need to do it. Okay, the priorities are out of whack, is what I'm trying to get at.
Well, and I want to clarify. A while ago, I said, but there should be a cap. And I understand that sounds contradictory to everything else I've said on this show, so I feel like I need to clarify. I mean, there needs to be a cap on what the sports people are paid.
Yeah.
Not general people who go out and get an education or get a trade or work their way up a ladder. Sports should have a cap of what they're being paid for playing that sport, because if you're really good, you make way more money in endorsements. So I'm not trying to cap somebody's earning potential, but the way sports players are paid to me is a little ridiculous. But Hayden has something he wants to say.